Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon.
Ganun po.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Kwentuhang Cybersecurity. This is from Bacolod, Alan Pakulan, and also Sir Roger Intong, and our special guest, no? Miss Daireen Hanagap. Okay, so we will talk about IoT. Okay, ah, kung secure ba yung IoT natin, ha? Sorry. Okay. Kamusta ka, Miss Daireen?
So currently here in Bacolod sa atin, medyo kaninang umaga gloomy, then right now it's a bit humid na. So right now I'm just excited to share what I know, though I'm not really an expert in terms of expertise, but I'll just share what I know. Maybe others can find it helpful, and the same thing, me can learn something from this talk as well. So I'm just excited to share what I know about IoT and its vulnerabilities.
Nice. Okay. By the way, Miss Daireen is also a Google ambassador, no? Women in Tech. Okay, nice. Okay. But of course, no, still, we're talking about security in all fields. No? Okay. Uh, okay. Miss Dai, are you ready na?
Yes. So let me
Okay.
just
Sir
share.
Entong, later you can ask questions and also you can add in our topic. Okay. Sige, Miss Dai, please share your
Ayan.
slides.
Okay, let me share my screen. Um, okay, is it sharing now, sir?
Yes, 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 yes.
All right, sige. All right, so good day, everyone. So I'm Daireen. I am a Women Tech Makers ambassador and an organizer for Google Developer Group's Bacolod chapter, and as well as a software engineer. So around 10 years now. So mainly, when I do talks, it's all about IoT, since I am very fond of software hardware interactions. And lately, when cybersecurity came, I mean, it's not already a buzzword for everyone. Everyone is getting familiar with cybersecurity. Then we begin to see the ones that we have, the IoT, the convenience of IoT. It also comes with some backslashes. That's the part of cybersecurity, because it became one of the nesting ground of hacking. So maybe I want to start with a question. So imagine a world where our light bulbs, which can change colors through our remotes, Wi-Fi's, through our applications, can talk to our toasters, to our doors, to the windows, okay, and many more. That is a great convenience. Okay, and then when you walk in to your house, the lights turn on, the toast pops up, the rice began cooking. But what if that light bulb is also talking to someone you don't want to, or someone you do not know? So what if it is talking to a stranger half across the world? That is what we call an invisible border. We are going to explore that one today, where we are going to look at how to stay safe in a world where everything is connected. So, first things first, what is IoT, or what we mean by Internet of Things? So basically, when we say IoT, it's just a fancy way of saying our everyday objects have tiny computer chips and has an internet connectivity. So anything, any devices which can connect to the internet, which they can interact with other devices through our Wi-Fi, our data. So it is used to be only our laptops and phones. But now it's already our smartwatches. What else? Smart TV, smart fridge, our refrigerators, our CCTVs with baby monitors. It's the as well like the thermostat inside our homes where we can control the lights, the humidity, the temperature. It is even the massive machines inside big factories. So the big idea here is really the word automation. These gadgets make our lives easier and smoother, but as we add more connections, we as well add more risks. So what is this front door versus tiny windows? So for example, let's try to visualize the danger. Think of your home network like your whole house, your actual house. So your laptop and your banking apps, those are the front door. You guard them carefully. You have a strong lock or your strong password, maybe even an alarm system. What is an alarm system? Like our antivirus that we get notified in case something is suspicious. But how about our CCTVs, our smart fridge, our smart lights, smart TVs? So, for example, if we have a cheap Wi-Fi security, what would it do to our overall system, to our overall house? So, your cheap Wi-Fi security are like those that can be vulnerable. So those are like the tiny windows in our basements, in our attic, in your sala. So manufacturers often ship these devices with weak locks, or sometimes no locks at all, meaning no security at all. Here is a scary reality. A hacker doesn't need to smash down our front door to get in. They will find a tiny window, a smart device which is unprotected, and if they find that unlocked window, that one cheap smart bulb that changes color, they can climb inside. And once they are inside the house, they can walk right up to your front door and unlock them from the inside. So, what are like the real life scenarios of IoT or the smart devices being hacked? So the first one is the fish tank. So the fish tank that got hacked in a casino. So you might think I'm not a target, I'm just a regular person, but let me tell you this about the fish tank heist. So a few years ago, a major casino was hacked. They had millions of dollars in security, meaning a high-end security for their overall operations. So how did it get hacked? How did the hackers get in? They found a smart thermostat inside a fish tank in the lobby of this casino. The thermostat was connected to the Wi-Fi so the staff could monitor the water temperature remotely so they can adjust, they can see. But the hackers compromised this tiny thermostat. From there, they jumped into the main network and stole the high-end data. Their database got compromised. It was the list of the wealthiest clients they have because of a fish tank. Okay, so next one is the water tank 111. So what is this 111? What is this cybersecurity incident? So hacking a city's water supply. So earlier it was all about the money, but now this is about a physical safety. So in 2024, a town water treatment plant was targeted by hackers. This facility controls a chemical mix in the drinking water. So it is all about mixing naman. So hackers found out a way how to get in the system because the system was left open to the internet with a password that was literally with the password 1111. So they managed to take control of the pumps from there. So luckily, someone just saw on their screen that the mouse moved and they stopped it before somebody got hurt. So it is also proven that critical systems need the strongest lock, but often they have the weakest one. And the last example that we have is our zombie gadget army. So maybe majority of houses right now, they have smart TVs. So your smart TV could potentially be in a zombie army. So what is this zombie army? So millions of cheap smart TVs and Android boxes were found to have hidden software pre-installed. Hackers could secretly activate these devices without the knowing of the owners. So for example, your TV works fine for you, but in the background, it's part of a botnet. So a botnet, for example, if you're managing a server, usually your application or your website could have these access logs, and most of the time you would see botnet, something like that. So these are the zombie army attacking other websites. So hackers use these zombie armies to crash massive sites. For example, in this example of zombie, Twitter, Netflix, by flooding them with traffic. So for example, a DDoS attack, DOS attack. So the lessons here, actually brand matters. Why? Because high-end brands typically have a higher level of investment when it comes to security compared to those cheaper ones. So actually, if you're buying something with a higher price compared to another one, there's always a reason why this certain brand is higher in price compared to the other. So the odds are against us, but we can still win in this part. So looking at 2026 and beyond, why is this getting harder? Why is it getting harder to protect such devices, even though we have AIs and such? It's the matter of volume. So we just have too many things. It's like it is easy to protect one laptop. It is hard to secure 50 smart light bulbs or 3 smart speakers or 3 smart fridges. And the next one is us versus the AI. If we are using AI for good technology, there are as well hackers in the other side which uses AI to hack efficiently, faster, and effectively. They have automated tools. They created automated tools that can scan the internet 24/7, looking for those open windows. Okay. The next one is the mentality of set and forget. So what is this set and forget? So for example, we buy smart things, plug them, and never look at them again. they don't get updates, these security updates, so they get weaker over time. So it is as well important that if you get some firmware updates, some updates, you get the updates, because you never know if that update is about a patch for a security reasons. So it's better to keep our devices up to date. So what is the Smart Protection Playbook? So for example, we have digital keys. So if we have physical keys like the keys of our doors, our windows, we as well have digital keys. So let's talk about how we fix it. Let's start with two types of digital keys. So we have API keys and tokens. So when we say API keys, they are like library cards. It has your name on it and it works forever. If someone steals it, they can pretend to be you without your knowing. Now we have tokens. So tokens are like hotel key cards. So they work for as long as you stay, for the duration of your stay. But after you check out, the card stops working. So never write down your API keys or share them, because sometimes we do not know the intensity of the risk when we share API keys, especially for students who create applications with APIs. So you need to treat them like the pin to your bank cards. Whenever you have a choice in the system between API and tokens, use tokens because they expire. So if they get stolen, then damage is limited. Okay, so the downside only for tokens is that they expire, meaning they are more demanding compared to API, because an API it's a one-time go, and token you are it expires, then you create a new one, and so on. So like, for example, you log in your Google account after 2 weeks, and 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you are required to log in again. So the token expires for our own safety. So sometimes accessibility and security needs to be they need to be balanced in a certain way. So what's the CIA, the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So next one, so locking our front door or our router. So most of the homes right now has routers, maybe in telecom companies like PLDT, Globe, Converge, and so on. So lock down your digital life. So I have here, for example, change default passwords. So usually, if a family is not that techy when it comes to handling their router, they typically just have default passwords for their routers. So it is as well dangerous if they get hacked. So locking your front door, it is like going to your router's settings, change the default password. So if you haven't changed the default password of your router right now, do it today. Turn on the WP3 security if available, and find the settings called UPnP, or Universal Plug and Play. Turn it off if you don't need it. It's a known security hole as well of this UPnP. CCTV cameras as well, like for example, Tapo, where it has an option for you to turn on the UPnP. If you don't need it, you just turn it off. So it's a security hole. So give gadgets their own room, meaning you manage them, you partition them. So what do we mean by rooms? So this is one of the important one. So most routers have what we call a guest Wi-Fi features. So turn it on. Connect your smart devices there, your TV, your toasters, your fish tanks, systems. Put it in a guest Wi-Fi. Keep your laptops, your phones, your banking things in the main Wi-Fi. Why? If the toaster gets hacked, they are trapped in the guest room. They cannot get directly to your banking data or to your main Wi-Fi. So that's as well the importance of knowing what's this guest Wi-Fi feature that we have with our routers. So the earlier you can really digest or get to know the the idea or the concept of guest Wi-Fi, the better. Because for example, you have friends or other people coming into your home and they want to connect to your Wi-Fi. It's better to separate them, especially if you work with a very critical data. Your work requires a massive security protection. So to protect yourself, just separate them. So for example, you have the main PLDT router. So maybe you would have a TP-Link or this access point. So the TP-Link access point, that is where you connect your smart devices, your smart TV, so that it is contained in that guest Wi-Fi. Compared, it will go directly to your main router. So here, just be a smart buyer. So read the box, read the manual. It is important that you know the functionality of your modems, especially right now, that everything could be hacked. So make sure the firmwares as well are updated. So the golden rule as well is that, for example, your smart fridge has a microphone capability and you know you're never talking to your fridge, just turn it off. Turn off the functionalities that you do not use because it could protect you from few vulnerabilities. So, conclusion for our 2026 protection checklist. So, first thing, strong Wi-Fi passwords. Why? Because if you have a weak password, especially with AI, it is easily being hacked. So try to get to know the guest Wi-Fi feature, auto updating your devices and buying from trusted brands. So you're already safer than 99% of people out there. So in general, technology is making our life amazing, easier, much connected than before. And we begin to appreciate that in technology, distance becomes somehow not an issue, but only if we take few simple steps to make sure that we are doing it right, safe. So that's the only time that we can see this invisible border. Okay, so thank you very much. And one final note, this slide as well is my, what do you call this one? My beta testing of what we call the nano banana of Google. So I just tried to feed the idea that I want, and then it created a layout for me. So this presentation is 100% being designed by Nano Banana, but the inside of it is coming from me. So it is just exciting to see how these new tools can help us communicate complex ideas like IoT security faster and efficiently, especially me that I'm more on a technical part rather than a designing part. So designing is actually not my forte. So thank you everyone for your time, and hopefully I have uh, helped a bit in understanding the vulnerabilities of IoT devices.
All right. Thank you, Miss Daireen.
Mhm.
Thank you for your insight, no? And expertise. No? I hope we will learn a lot this afternoon. No? Okay. We will greet first. Sir Roger, do you have any questions? Or you can greet our friends.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So, good afternoon also to our live viewers, and also thank you, Miss Erin, for that very advanced advice for our all users. And I would like to congratulate Miss Erin for very comprehensive topic. So, I think I need to share lang something now that internet is not a private room. Okay? It's a public room, and even if it feels private, it's still not secure. Okay? Once you are connected on the internet. Okay? So thank you and good afternoon.
All right. Uh, Miss Daireen, no? There's a lot of breaches and attacks, no, on IoT. So we have kinetic attack, no? It's a real world attack,
Mhm.
in our infrastructure, no?
Mm.
Like our power grid, water. No? So yan po yung mga attack sa IoT. So maybe we have to secure that, no? Through patches, update our firmware. That is correct, Miss Dai.
Yes, yes. So, in the last talk as well, held last year, I believe, in LaSalle by one of the officials of the Philippines, in the previous decades, we are only protecting land, sea, air, but now we are already protecting land, sea, air, and cyber. So, like for example, there are a lot of countries trying to invade a country not through missiles, but through the internet. And coming from
Yes.
there, they are invading, looking at the data, how the government works, how they can manipulate something from this invisible part of our border. So getting know such things, especially now with everything, like every month there's new technology, new invention, it is really better that we know something with regards to cybersecurity compared to not knowing anything at all. Because, like, for example, we're just programming softwares, creating websites, but it does not end there. The real work actually begins the moment we put it live in the server. How do we manage the data inside? If we have hardwares, how are we protecting it so that they will not be vulnerable for other hackers, something like that. So it is really a package that we cannot afford to overlook.
Nice. Actually, si ano, yung bisita natin, no, last time, si Colonel
Yes,
Padilla,
yes.
from AFP, our spoke
Mm.
from AFP, no? She visited LaSalle, our speaker, no? So, very good, no? She gave insights, no, about protecting our air, sea, and also cyberspace. No? Okay.
Mm.
Uh, Sir Entong, yes?
Okay, so I have a question, Miss Dina, and so before my question, I would like to greet all the faculty and staff of College of Computer Studies of University of Saint Lasal who are
Good
attending
afternoon.
now. So they are sharing their screenshots that they are listening to us. Okay, so good afternoon, and also to our department chairs and our dean, Sir Bob, and good afternoon. Okay, Miss Daya, I have a question. No? What are the latest challenges faced in the security of IoT? Thank
Mhm.
you.
Mhm. So, maybe before I go to that one, before, I mean, 2 years, 3 years ago, when I was enjoying the IoT technology, the world of IoT, where I was very fond of, like everything gets connected. I can open my door through my voice, something like that. I can feed my dog even though I'm away. Then uh, came one topic coming from, I believe, in GDG Baguio when I attended one of their talks where they tackled about cybersecurity. Then I began to realize that uh, it is not enough that we get our devices connected. So, one of uh, the weakest point of IoT is really the security, because each module that we have, the WeMOS devices, the ESP, they do not come with a security feature. So they are like an open book. It's like that you have your money in the middle of a plaza. So everyone can just get in to get that one, to rob you that data, especially if your ESP modules, your Wi-Fi modules are connected to your server without any tokens or APIs. So they can as well access that one. So one of the weakest the greatest challenge of IoT is really this cybersecurity thing, because they do not come built in to the device. So it is you really that needs to develop something to contain the data that you have. You encrypt it, you put some tokens, because these IoT devices or IoT infrastructure itself, the main function of it is just to connect. That's it, to talk from one device to another. The main feature is not security. That is why it became one of the most targeted um, technology in the past years. So I believe up until now, IoT faces a lot of scrutiny when it comes to data privacy, data security. So I mean, these challenges, these limitations, hopefully would not disable others to still continue to find a solution, because IoT itself is a very helpful inventions, especially when solving what we call mundane processes. So mundane processes are processes na paulit-ulit. So automation can really help in that one. So so sir, that's really what I can see.
In addition, also, Miss Dina, I think we need to secure first the network before
Yes.
securing the IoT because that's the entry point.
Segmentation.
Yeah. Yeah, segmentation. Mm-mm.
And
Segmentation.
another,
Or ano na lang, para sure, air gap. Another question, no, from Ben Ezra. Kindly comment on China-made routers like TP-Link being banned in other countries. What brand of routers do you recommend?
Actually, at home, I use TP. I use a TP access point, this TP access point outdoor 110. But I enable certain things like guest Wi-Fi, something like that. So you do not use default passwords and such. That's really the most important thing. You don't put your name as password. For your SSID, don't use your, for example, Hanagap family. Don't use that, because that simple thing can easily be traced by hackers. For example, they just roam around, and then they see that there's a certain family, then they target that one. So make your SSIDs, I mean, the least you can do, make your SSIDs, what do you call this one? Insignificant, meaning don't put some critical informations. Never put your bank password as your Wi-Fi password. If possible, your passwords must be unique from each other. Don't use patterns, for example, because that's one of the reasons why, for example, you're being hacked on your Facebook, then later you're hacked through your bank account, because the mentality of I just need one password, so I don't need to memorize anything. So that one is actually what we call a trap, because you memorize it, it's one time memorizing, but then once you got infected, you're doomed, because everyone is I mean, the same password for you or all of your devices and such. So what brand, I cannot say for sure without experiencing it. Anything about China shouldn't be trusted, I don't think so. But because at the end of the day, our safety lies on how we use, how we optimize our devices. So mainly scrutinizing China, their devices would as well be unfair. And we all know that most of the manufacturers are coming from China. So for me, finding other countries, what do you call this one, brands, would do something, maybe. We cannot say for sure. But for example, you got the very the most high-end access point in the world, but then you got a default password. I don't believe that it would protect you in a way that you imagine. So in what brand, maybe just go with brands that you can see that is mostly used, and try to put the checklist that we did earlier, like for example, auto updates, password check, guest Wi-Fi being enabled. So you can start it from there. I mean, if I am developing something, I don't go for the top tier immediately. I go from the very bottom and I just walk my way up. I mean, if you build a bike, you don't go with Shimano directly. You first try to feel lower end brands, then later you will try to seek other brands, higher brands, and then you come up to the brand where you find at peace, comfortable. So if TP, you do not see any problem from it yet, I don't know if you need to to really transfer to any brands. Join forums. Forums are really one thing.
Nice.
Before I build something, use something, you make tambay muna sa isang forum before buying critical devices, and try to see if you can live uh with the downside of that device.
Nice. Miss Dai, I'm also using TP-Link.
Same.
My VPN router na connected. Of course, our router from telco. I think
So
that
hindi
is
ka din sure
best
naka-direct.
practice. No, you have another router which
Yes.
you can play with it and you can update the firmware, no?
Yes,
But
yes.
I don't know, no? I'm afraid to touch the telco router. Baka mawala yung signal ko.
Yes,
Okay?
actually, before I tried to get access as well of the like the super admin of the PLDT router, but then you need to sign a waiver, I believe, saying that you waive the company in case a vulnerability attack invaded you. So when I saw that, then I did not. So I did not go through with that one. So it's nice to hear, sir, na may ano ka din, may separate ka din na
Yeah. Okay, another question, no, from Sir Angel. Sir Angel, good afternoon, our Pixpro chairman. Home users are not techies. They
yeah.
don't know how to secure their device or devices and home network. What can be recommended to them?
Mhm. Uh, for example, here in our subdivision, most people here are retired teachers, and the house adjacent to us are retired teachers. So they are not techy. Every time they actually seniors are really the what do you call this one? The target age group for such attacks. So what we can do is, I mean, it's always helping one starfish is better than not helping any starfish at all. So, I mean, if you are able to help them, because for example, they have these bank cards, and then suddenly they see one product that happen to pop up while they scroll around Facebook, and they click it and they try to buy and enter their credit card numbers, something like that. So I mean, it's better to educate them,
Yes,
just
I agree. I agree.
yeah. So if they have smart TVs, something like that. Because for example here, I'm the one fixing something. Kung mga smart TV sila, ang router nila, mga ganun. So if you see something, I mean, if we explain it to them the way we will explain it to our friends, they will not be able to, they cannot digest it. It's too technical for them. Maybe find some analogy to make them understand that having this is better if we just
Pwede
turn.
din, Miss Tai, yung mga anak nila, no? Or even relatives, they can teach, no?
Yeah,
For awareness, no? Especially yung mga anak nila nasa IT or sa
yeah.
engineering, or
Ang
computer
sad
related
lang
or
kasi,
technology related.
mm,
Kasi may experience ako eh, yung anak nagpapaturo yung nanay niya, hindi tinuruan, IT pa naman.
uh, we should help first inside our household before we help others, because the household itself is where I mean yan yung ano, yan yung pugad natin eh. So before helping other households, make sure that your own is protected. And the thing about educating them, it is something that multiplies, never subtracted. Meaning, if you help others, nothing is being taken away from you. So, the more you teach them, the more you become, ano din, knowledgeable about something. So, um, ano lang din, ng siguro, own will mo na lang to educate them about vulnerabilities. Not everything that they see are true in the internet world. So, to never store passwords, to never
Yes.
take a picture of
Another
their
one is that,
card.
Miss Dai, yung password sinishare mo sa kapitbahay mo para mayroon silang internet.
Siguro kung gaganyanin ko, I will have them in the guest, in the guest, not directly inside my router, because I mean, if they get invaded,
Well,
madala.
hindi sila ano eh, hindi sila techie, nagsi-share lang.
No.
Yung basic kasi, Pag nag-install
Oh,
na yung internet, yung
okay na.
router, okay na, no?
Kaya,
Hihingi na lang ng password.
mm,
So, yun.
yun din. Tapos
Ayan.
hindi nila alam na, for example, if they share their password, walang mangyayari. But they do not understand na parang flow din yun ng tubig. The more outlet, hihina. Tapos magrereklamo sila na mahina.
The
Then,
bandwidth, the bandwidth.
yes, yes. So, mga ganun din.
Okay, we will greet muna, no? Good afternoon to Seven Hosting PH, to Attorney Baset, Paulo Lafuente, good afternoon, and Michael Reyes, good afternoon, and also to BP Ruby, no? Good afternoon. Okay, so yun, no? We have to educate, no? Give awareness. Maybe if we have the technical know-how, we can maybe share, no? To secure our home networks. Okay? So it's not only as a user, but well, yung hack kasi walang pinipili. Okay?
Careful. Sir Alan, careful pa
Yes.
din tayo sa yung mga piso wifi or yung mga tag 5 pesos. Kasi hindi,
Ah,
sometimes hindi safe yung mga piso wifi.
depende kasi yung sa gumawa ng
Oo.
piso wifi. Meron namang ibang nagpo-program talaga eh. May kakilala ko sa Kabangkalan, no, na pinoprograman lahat, no? Yung mga system niya, yung login, yung portal, even the load balancing ng network. So, yan. It depends, no? Okay?
Yung ano, sir, for example, you're in a public coffee shop, then suddenly nagko-connect ka lang, hindi mo alam, naka-shared folder ka pala. So others in the same network can see your files, delete something, insert a malware or something. So actually, connecting to a public Wi-Fi
It's
is
not
not okay. Hindi
recommended.
talaga.
Yes,
So,
oo. Hindi dapat naka-connect sa public, no?
mm,
Sa airport,
kaya
sa even hotels, no?
Sa mall.
Okay naman maka-connect pero hindi lang yung mga sensitive na gawain mo like
oo,
banking, no?
bang.
Doing banking online sa public places, that is a big no, no? Okay? Yes, Sir Intong?
Yung sa mga mall na may mga free wifi, kasi sometimes yung mga customer walang data. So they need to connect to the mall, then pay using Maya or GCash. So it's very vulnerable because nagsisend ng OTP, diba, to connect.
Yes. But when it comes to network, isa na yun, no? Yung segmentation. Oo. That is for network security. Hopefully, that is our next KC topic, no? Sir Intong, network security. Okay, we will include that, no? Kasi marami ng mga sensors. Yung isang problem kasi sa IoT, yung mga sensors na sa field, hindi kasi ma-update, no?
Oo.
Ah,
Sila ma-update. So, yun, no? Siguro maybe there's a push na update coming
Mm.
from the server at saka papunta doon sa device, no? Mag-update siya. Okay?
yung sa mga coffee shop na may mga free voucher na good for 30 minutes, 1 hour, I think mas safe yun. Basta may voucher lang kasi that will also serve as a security na link between the router and the cell phone or the laptop.
Yes. Okay. Si Edra, no? Use connect via MAC address and enter it manually para wala makakonect ng iba. Well, Sir Edra, no? Pwede. Pero we're talking about in the general public na yung especially yung mga non-techie. Okay? Uh, di naman sila gumagalaw ng router natin but of course we are on the technical side. We know that. Okay? So, yun. So, dapat, again, we go back to the basic, no? Yung maganda lang kasi sa mga bagong router na may ano na, may default settings, then there's also um, warning that if you change the parang deterrent, no? If you change the admin user and the password, well, it's up to you, no? If you uh, play with the device, no? For me, I think you can buy a new router and connect to the telco router and play with it. Okay?
At saka may suggestion ako, Sir Alan, no, sa mga non-techie. Kasi yung iba natutulog, yung mga data nila naka-on pa. So just make sure na kung hindi ginagamit yung phone, i-turn off yung data at saka yung wifi. Because maybe someone can listen to our microphone, can use the camera of your phone, or can use the app of your phone because naka-on yung internet mo or naka-connect ka pa sa wifi. So yun lang yung pwedeng masuggest, no?
Yes. Yes, that is true, no? Okay, so yung iba sinasabi nila dito, no, zero trust. Yes. Zero trust, no? Any devices, no? Kahit sino pa yan, wag papasukin. Zero trust. No?
Saka,
Kahit si boss mo pa, pag walang verification,
Wala.
wag papasukin. Ayaw.
Sir
Okay.
Alan, may
Yes.
mga IoT din na mga charger na mga Type-C na parang charger talaga pero isa siyang
Flash drive.
program na that can attack your phone, no? Makakonect lang kayo sa same Wi-Fi, it can already access your phone remotely, no? Using the
Yes.
charger na Type-C na programmable. I think mabibili lang yan sa Amazon. So, delikado.
Okay. So, ano pa? Okay. Net route. You know why TP-Link have a bad name? Question. There is routers have been hacked and used by bad actors with older models. Well, of course, Sir Net, no? Pag old na, dapat kahit i-patch mo man lang, no, ang firmware, or again, you buy another router, no? To update your device. Well, then talking of China, well, hindi ka na be trusted, no? But I think they supplied all our devices made in China. So actually, national security concern yan, no? Baka may mga backdoor yan, we don't know, no? It depends on them, no? If may mga APT, advanced persistent threats, na nandoon lang sa network natin, no? Monitor at it will exploit, no? So yun. Yes, Miss Dai, if you have any addition to that.
Ano pa? Sir, anong mako-comment mo sa mga tao na nakamatic na, for example, mag-login sa Facebook, nakamatic store, naka-store ang password sa Google Password Manager or any password manager. Would you do it yourself, sir, or
No,
no?
no, I'm not using password manager kasi
Yeah.
kung makuha ko yung cellphone mo, I can open your password
Everything.
manager.
Correct,
No?
sir.
So it's not advisable, no? For me. But well, hindi naman tayo lahat eh. Siguro para secure na lang at mabilis yung process. But still, no, we go for mano-mano and turn on your multi-factor authentication. For now, no? That is the safest na process, no? Or you can use to the extreme your YubiKey, no? Para mag-login. It's a multi-factor, no? Something that is for the authentication, something you know and something you have, no? It includes who you are because there's a biometric for that key, and then you have your password. So we have to protect ourselves.
Because yan yung nakikita ko usually, like password nakamatic na. But then, for example, if naka-open yung browser mo, they can just, kung hindi man nila ma-open yung Google, yung ano mo, yung password manager mo, they can just inspect element, change the type, password to text, makikita. So, vulnerable na siya in that part. So, it's a nice habit as well to not store passwords inside your browser. para madali na lang. So security is not handy per se. Bakit? Because if you want security, you protect it, hindi yung something na na-access kahit sino lang. So um it's the same thing with IoT, your daily day-to-day na mga gawain. So if you want to be protected, you need to compromise a bit to protect you as well.
All right. Sige. We have the last question, no? Because it's almost time na. This is the last question again from Ben Ezra, no? As a techie, what tools and framework do you use and recommend to check vulnerabilities on your IoT network?
Parang kayo ata yan, sir, sa cybersecurity. Pero yung ano ko lang, yung take ko lang dyan talaga, yung sabi sa amin sa cybersecurity class namin is yung CIA talaga. If you really understand the concept of CIA, you're already one step ahead to anyone. So parang sa inyo ata yan, sir, yung mga framework ng cybersecurity.
Okay. All right. Sir Into, any any additional comment?
Yung ano ko lang, yung ma-comment ko lang kasi yung mga IoT parang may limitation. No? Parang nakita kong video na nawalan siya ng boses, so hindi na siya makapasok sa sa door
Yes.
kasi hindi na siya
Oo.
ma-detect ng IoT. At saka
Oo.
yung nag-iba na yung may mga pimples na siya, hindi na ma-detect yung face niya. Hindi na ma-recognize kasi yun yung limitation ng mga IoT.
Mm.
Yes, so hindi pa perfect
Oo.
yung
Pa yun,
facial
sir, yung
recognition,
mm,
no?
yung
Hindi pa
physical
ano.
layer, application layer, data,
Yes.
yung mga layers ng ano, nung sa cybersecurity. Maybe yan yung minimin niya na framework, yung isang question kanina. Kung ano
Yes, so like may mga kill chain, no? Kill
ah,
chain, um, Nest, no? We have to follow the Nest, no? Framework also, as a guide, no? We can adapt that. Okay. Okay, so yes, Miss Dyrene, last na po. Before we going dark.
parang last words, ganun ba?
Yes, last word.
Okay, so maybe it's regardless of what limitations a technology has, it should not disable us to continue to try to better it, to upgrade it. So hindi porket may limitation si IoT, hindi na tayo gagamit ng IoT lahat. I mean, it does not work that way because kung ganyan yung mentality mo, wala tayong maaabot. It's more on day by day. We learn from it. If we see another vulnerability, we try to solve the issue. Try to find the root cause of that one and protect it for once. Tapos, one of the most important thing is lamang ang may alam talaga. So,
Yes, true.
more knowledge you have with a certain thing, the more na maproprotect mo din yung sarili mo, yung pamilya mo, your neighbors. So, it's ano lang, a ripple effect lang din siya. So, if you know something, teach others. That's it. Yun lang talaga yung pinaka-concept dun for us to be protected. Kasi there are people that cannot do it on their own. So others who can teach them. So parang ganun lang.
Yes, I agree. Okay. Sir Roger, your parting ways, message.
Well, I think the last thing that I can say is trust no one, even your friend, your best friend, your device, your phone, your boss, your colleague. Do not trust anyone. That's all. Thank you.
Zero trust. Okay.
Get
Uh,
Wi-Fi.
Miss Dyrene, thank you for sharing your insights and expertise, no? It is a nice topic no? IoT, no? Actually, it is part of infrastructure security, no? IoT. Okay, and also, well, there's a part in also in network security. Okay, so again, good afternoon, no? This is from Bacolod chapter. Alan Pakulan, Miss Dyrene Nagap, our guest speaker, and Sir Roger Intong. Okay. Sa cybersecurity, walang weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.